Welcome to another Milepost of the V-Twin Life. V-Twins, why we enjoy it, what they mean to us, and just why we enjoy the open road. V-Twin Life is brought to you by CrashIncClothing.com, also known as Crash Inc. on the World Wide Web. Man, Brad is on a lot of stuff. You want to get some merchandise, you want to get parts, you want to upgrade stuff on your bike. He is a dealer for a lot of great companies, so check out CrashIncClothing.com and see what they got for you. Now, we got Wild Ass. You want to add some comfort to your ass? Man, Wild Ass has got you covered. They've got something you like. Use that promo code DWoods. Get yourself free shipping and put that ass in comfort. Can't forget Custom Dynamics, leading the world in LED lighting and LED technology. Man, these got some great stuff. You want to light up your life at nighttime? You want to be seen during the day? Hey, check out Custom Dynamics. Can't forget Lexan. These guys got some great comm units. I just got the new G16s. Man, you want to talk quality? These things are awesome. Loudspeakers, plus they got some air pumps, small ones you keep in your bike. They're ready to go. So check out Lexan. So now, let's get to another milepost of the V-Twin Life. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Sunday here in the V-Twin Life with milepost 133. We got Brandon Meyers, the Nomad biker. I mean, you do a ton of miles. It's impressive. Been following you on Facebook for a while, and you know, you're an IBA guy, 77457. You're about 5,000 ahead of me. You know, it's pretty good, but it's impressive to see what you've accomplished and when it came to getting yourself in the IBA and all the rides and how you've gone through it. And then the progression of like motorcycles. You know, it's like you change, this one's broke, fuck, you find a great deal, pick up another one, and you keep going. It's been pretty freaking cool. So welcome to the V-Twin Live, man.
Thank you. Glad to have you.
Yeah, we know actually some of you guys might hear some background noise. He's actually out on a ride, heading to doing a memorial this weekend, and so he's posted up at a Starbucks in Pennsylvania, but you got that Wi-Fi, so make stuff work. So, how'd you get into motorcycles, man? Where'd it come into life for you?
My mom. My mom had a little 175 Honda that she rode around when, like, shortly after I was born. And I think the story goes that the way she got me to walk to the end of the driveway was so that I could get a ride on her tank. So
kind of hooked you. So how'd it get going after that? I mean, what was the first one, and when did you really start riding for yourself?
I think my first bike was my first ones were mopeds, but then it was a 350 Honda that I got when I was 14. That I literally like pushed home from the guys like free, just take it. So from there I went to older Yamahas, and then into sport bikes for a while. Then I went to HDs, and like you mentioned, I swap bikes a lot. So, like right now, mainly I'm riding an ST1300. I don't know if you can see it behind me, but that's my main bike right now. And I just love riding.
Dude, the Honda STs, I mean, they're a proven touring bike. I mean, I had an old guy that's really good friends with my dad. It was well over 400,000 on his. It was impressive. I mean, the guy, he literally lives to ride to live. That's all he does. I mean, he's a huge time endurance rider. And he got a pretty bad accident a year and a half ago, which has really slowed him down. But dude, that guy, I mean, I know he had the old ST1100, then he went to the 13, and he rode the hell out of them. I mean, they've been proven to be a phenomenal touring bike.
Yeah. It's very close to, it's a little more sport orientated than my Gold Wings are. It's also a little more ticket orientated.
Performance awards.
Yes. Got a glove box full of them.
So how'd you work your way to riding on the road?
Well, I'm a venue security guard. So, which means I work long hours for a short period. Like last week I worked like 3 17-plus hour days. And then I sleep for a day and I'm off for 9 days. So that's how I end up being able to afford to go ride. It works out.
Kind of the vagabond style, just kind of go to different venues and different places and go work.
Well, no, I primarily just deal with Macon, Georgia.
Okay.
Now they do have something that's in because the parent corporation manages several different venues. If they've got something in another state, yeah, no problem. I'll gladly drive there.
Right. So what kind of got the bug for you when it came to wanting to do long distance? And then we'll kind of dive into some IBA stuff, because your IBA resume is impressive.
I run a little bit. I had wanted. I had read about doing the 50cc, and here's the funny part: is I said I used to have mopeds. I was kind of a fanatic about mopeds, and I thought the 50cc was actually for those that have done a coast to coast on a 50cc bike. And that was where my interest first came in, was like, man, the list of people who have done that has got to be smaller than who's done Everest, So then I learned more, and I had a goal, and my goal was, all right, well, I'm going to do these rides. I'm going to, want to start with the saddle sore at least, and I was riding a PC 800 that didn't even have a seat. It was it literally had a piece of cardboard on it for a seat, and I went for. I think you actually were a commenter. I think on my first ride. I thought I'd failed. I did it. I didn't do the pictures right. I didn't do the receipts right. I think the girl gave up on the ride for various reasons. And then I came back and did it October 11th, I think. It was the first ride that I thought that, like, this is what I'm going to do. And I went from Macon, Georgia, down to Fort Lauderdale and back, which was like 1,200 miles. And that's how I first ended up in the books.
Yeah, for those watching, the saddle sore, that's kind of, the entry into the IBA, 1,000 miles in 24 hours or less. And then he's talking about the 50cc, which is 50 hours coast to coast. Then you have the 100cc, the 100 hours coast to coast, back to your starting coast. And, it's funny you talk about on a scooter. There's actually a group of guys, it's not IBA, but called Scooting USA, that do it on 50cc Zuma scooters cross country. Yeah. I remember following those guys. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah. I was just talking with Gar. I'd like to get into the scooter cannonball just because.
Hey, you look at stuff within the motorcycle community, and then it's like you have your sub community. Say, IBA, the Scooting USA guys, and then you're talking, the scooter cannonball run. It's like there are other communities inside the community, and
right.
And you see those guys doing the stuff on scooters, man. I give them the utmost respect. Holy shit, I wouldn't do it.
Well, when I was
nuts.
We all in America, we need a big bike, to tour. And when I was down in Mexico last fall, looking like, man, there are all these like 125, 150, 175. Like the biggest bike I saw there was a 250, and they're hauling twice as much stuff as I got on her, And a lot of these little Chinese scooters, they're just riding around like from city to city, and their city to city is not like it is here. It's like from riding to Washington to LA. and they're doing it on these little Chinese scooters. So
hey, make it work. What you got, you do it. Say I never, of course, never been to East Asia, but you see so many of them over there too. They're on little scooters and these little bikes, and you see pictures online. It's the amount of shit they got on them. It's like, holy crap.
Right, right.
So, when you got into the IBA, what made you want to start going, really getting into it? What was your drive to do the Ironbutt Association stuff, challenges?
Oh, well, I got to say, my biggest drive was folks saying, maybe it isn't for me. The haters are the best motivators. And I was asking a lot of questions on a post, and somebody, and I don't even know who it was, I don't remember, was like, well, maybe the Ironbutt Association is not for you. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to prove this guy wrong. And I'm pretty sure I have by now.
I would say so. Because you've done so many, are now diamond status.
Yes. I hit
So
diamond
what you can go
status.
ahead and explain that to, the people who are watching, because that's an elite group.
Okay, so I need to backtrack a little bit. October 4th was that first ride that I attempted that I thought I did wrong. It was October 4th, 2019. No, 21. So, excuse me, 2020. Now, I did retroactively get that one straightened out and passed and certified. So that is my IBA anniversary. And so diamond status is when you get 100 certified rides, of which 50 must be gold or insanity. Now, the gold and insanity, those are the ones that like 1,524 or 2,036, or ones that have a extreme level of planning required. Like, for example, when the I suggested the coffee shops rides, where you ride to 6 independent coffee shops in 24 hours and a city or town that has coffee or latte or Java now in the name of it. It takes a lot of planning because you've got such a narrow time that coffee shops are open. So, so you've got to do at least 50 of those to hit diamond stat, well, 50 gold or insanity to hit the diamond, and 100 altogether. I think I'm currently at 138. Oh, I may have that number wrong. It may have been 25 and then 100.
Yeah, I remember looking up, but I can't remember offhand what it was.
Yeah, it may be because I think I just hit. I'll do a quick double check.
Regardless, the numbers, it's an impressive, and it's a small company of people that have made that challenge. It's like we were talking the other day, you got some legendary people, mutual friends we got, like Throw Down Solo and Reef, and we're talking, you actually hit it before they did. And them guys are also riding fools.
Not to toot my horn, but like I said, my goal was to hit 100 before my 3-year IBA anniversary, and I did.
So when did you start your IBA rides? Was it 3 years ago? 2020?
Yes. So it was my first official one was October 4th, 2020.
Which is a pretty impressive feat. It's one thing, saddle sores, the bun burners, but when you got to throw in the amount of golds that you got to get, and it's not an easy challenge, easy feat. A person's got to really apply themselves with some dedication.
Yeah. Scrolling up. Yeah, it was 125. I'm currently at 137 and 55, and then I just submitted, of course, another ride yesterday.
Damn. So I know this has been bugging me, and I want to make sure that I don't forget. And all your posts, you got your little slogan, Grind Stars. Where'd that come from?
That's right. That's right. I don't know if you can see it on the shirt here. It says
Oh, Rise and Grind.
Rise and Grind. So a grind star it's somebody who's passionate about what they do.
Hey, tilt your phone up a little more.
Oh, sorry.
There you
go. All right. So a grind star is somebody who's passionate about what they do and does whatever necessary to do what they're passionate about. And so that's where that comes from. And I've made some pretty out there sacrifices to be able to ride as much as I do. I pretty much live on the road almost full time. I had an apartment that they wanted to jack up to a ridiculous price, and at one point I just like, all right, cool. I'm just going to put everything in storage and just ride. Rather than spend $1,200 a month on a apartment that I'm not going to be at, I'll just spend that in gas.
Yeah.
So it's also got a double because of me being a coffee fanatic. They're the grind.
I can see that. Because, I'd say, a good 90% of your posts, you're always at a coffee shop. There's always coffee involved somewhere.
Absolutely.
So, how many bikes have you gone through since you started your challenge? I know there's got to be a handful that I, can remember through following all your posts.
Let's see. I started with the PC 800. Then I went. I Frankenstein another PC 100 out of parts from that one and another one as that one progressively died. Then there was the Goldwing. My first it was actually my second Goldwing 1500, but first one that I did IBA rides with. That one I got just a couple rides on, and then I got a great deal on another one. Scored that, and I got hit on that one. So that's two Goldwing 15s. Then, of course, I bought another Goldwing 15 because they're the best bang for a buck for a road bike. And I still have that one. Then I got an ST 1300. I put like 60,000 on that one before the alternator died. And then a Goldwing 1800 that's currently broke down out in California. And the current ST, and then a BMW RT 1200.
Just a few. So Vicky asked, though, was that an espresso that you're drinking?
Yes.
So what happened with the Goldwing? You got it? Was it like sitting in storage or a shop or somewhere in California waiting for attention?
Well, it had the alternator drive unit. The Goldwing alternator is driven. Well, the 1500 it's drove like a propeller system off of the flywheel, kind of like a cush drive on a rear wheel.
Mm-hmm.
The 1800's not like that. It's like gear driven off of the flywheel, and you have to split the engine to fix that part.
Jesus.
And so I was headed down the 5 to the 10, and all of a sudden my lights started dying down, and my Denali control knob was flashing, and I'm like, what's going on? And I end up just got really close to a semi. It was, of course, in the middle of the night. Got close to a semi and just used its tail lights to get me to the exit. Made it up to an exit, and figured out it's the alternator. And the next day, somebody let me charge the battery as much as I could, so that I could try to run into town. And because I forget the name of the town but I go to town, I put a giant boat battery in the trunk and bought the biggest charger they had, thinking like, okay, well, let's see how, I'm not going to make it home with this, right? And I made it to, I think I went 100 miles to Turlock, California. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to get a hotel for the night. I'll charge it up, and we'll see what I can run in the daylight. And when I woke up, it still wasn't even halfway charged up. I'm like, this is not going to work.
No.
So that's when matter of fact, that's when I bought this ST. I put that thing in a storage unit, and I'd really like to get it back, but I'm not sure how I'm going to get it back.
So when you switch bikes, like when you switch from the Goldwing to the ST, how much time does it take you? I mean, obviously you got to, some goodies like you're talking to the Goldwing, you got the Denali's and stuff on, which those are amazing. But how much time and, setup does it take getting the bike ready for what you want to do? I mean, do you have a lot of, little goodies you add to your riding, whether it's lighting, comfort, or what you got?
Well, of course, each bike has its own comfort things. Like right now, the three bikes that I ride most frequently are my 1500 wing, and my most frequent right now is the ST. But then I've got my 1500 wing that I still ride quite frequently, like when I'm back in town. And then my RT is down right now. But so like they've got their own saddle. This one, matter of fact, somebody actually mentioned like, hey, what do you do for long distance saddle comfort? This one actually has the first saddle that I had from an ST from the first ride, the first like couple 1,000-mile ride I took, and I shaped the saddle to fit me, but then I ended up with some hot spots, and I used 2 sets of flip-flops, dollar store flip-flops, and custom made my seat with those.
Hey, if it works.
Right. And I went through a couple of other saddles trying to and would just go back to this one. So as soon as I got this bike back to Georgia from California, off went that other one, and the saddleman, and on went my flip-flop seat. I'm riding right now without a GPS because I've got my 2 GPS docks. One is on the RT, one's on the Goldwing. So most of what I run with is just phones, and they've all got each bike has its own mounts already, but I don't really swap anything between the bikes because other than that, when I do that, that's when I forget something.
Right. So each one, I mean, you go through the time then to say you get another one, to get the add-ons you want, or you just kind of leave them.
Yeah. When I get another bike, it's definitely it's got to first off, I've got to figure out what it needs for a toolkit, because the factory toolkits never have what you actually need, and they've got a bunch of stuff you don't need. So
True.
Each bike gets its own toolkit. Each bike gets its own air pump. Got to have that. And then seat, the seat fit is probably the most 90% of being able to do long distance. Is if you aren't comfortable sitting in the saddle all day, then you're not going to sit in the saddle all day. You're going to be walking it off in the gas station. And
yep, that's like for me, man. Wild ass. These things are fucking great.
That's right.
I sit in the shop. Wife and I, we've used them in the car. I've used my truck, the motorcycle, sitting out here in the, on the man cave on the bar stool. I throw the wild ass, and that's what works for me. I mean, everybody has their own, but man, once I found out about them and got with them, it's like, fuck, these things are awesome.
Yeah, Craig does great stuff.
Craig and Renee are great people. I was able to work for him last summer. Both my wife and I did over Sturgis, and I've ridden thousands and thousands of miles on his cushions and thought I knew quite a bit until went through a little training video that he had and then spent time working with him and Renee and learned a whole lot more, but grew the friendship with them. And they're amazing people. I can't say enough about Craig and Renee. They're so much fun and just lively people and awesome.
All right, little R1 just pulled up.
So what's your destiny? I mean, I know you're up in Pennsylvania, so where are you going to be going after this?
Well, I collect Zippos, and somebody told me I should really make a stop at the Bradford, Pennsylvania Zippo factory. So I'm going to make a stop there, and then I also, like I said, on a couple of days ago in Missouri, I lost my lucky socks, my darn tough wool socks. So I'm close to Vermont. Why not run up to Vermont and get a pair right from the factory?
Hey, there you go. So here's one for you to think about. All the riding, all the stuff you've done. Look at an accessory that you purchased, say, under $30. What do you think's the best thing that you've been able to find that you've learned is so valuable, but yet not?
Actually, I'm going to go right back to the wool socks then. Wool socks are critical to ride with because even super thin ones. Case in point, yesterday, 2 nights ago now, I got caught in a real heavy rain in Ohio, I think it was. Or no, excuse me, Kentucky. And my boots were a little loose, so the rain dripped down into my boots. My feet were waterlogged. My feet were waterlogged for like 10 hours. But I didn't realize it until I got off the bike and started walking. Because wool socks will save you. So if I were to say any accessory under $30, good wool socks.
Never thought about that. That's interesting.
But in caving, spelunking, in caving, they say cotton kills because cotton loses like 90% of its heat retention ability when it gets wet. So
it makes sense with that. And that's the worst, man. Cold feet and cold hands, I absolutely hate.
same.
That'll just ruin the experience of any bit of ride is when you get either of those. At least for me.
I agree.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think one of my favorite things you want to go the under $30 is rock straps. Those things are freaking amazing and handy.
I'm yet to actually see one, but I've heard about them. I've heard people talking about them, but
Dude, they're awesome. I mean, I've done the bungee cords, the bungee stuff on. Rock straps is a game changer. I mean, you can get a pair, I think $12-15 or something. And I'm telling you what, you get a chance to find some when it comes to strapping stuff on your bike somewhere. Dude, once you find something to use them, you're gonna think, "Fuck, why didn't I do this a long time ago?"
is that like a cam buckle?
No, on one side it's actually got a little loop sewn on, so one half. Actually, hold on one sec.
He's away. Also get coffee. What we're doing today
Seriously?
is straight double espresso with a little bit of sugar.
All right, here we go. So on each side, so they got the little belt clip, you can see here, but they got loops on the ends of it, so you can take this side, loop it around one object, and you can make this as adjustable. I think these are the 24-inch. The other side is somewhat elastic and stretchy, loop that around what you want, you pull it through, and then you can just cinch down the other side of it. So instead of using bungee cords, these are adjustable from, I think you can get them up to 42-inch long straps, and you can cinch them down to 10 inches.
Gotcha.
And they are so handy. I mean, it's like the hell with bungee cords anymore. Once I found about those rock straps, I'm like, holy shit. They're freaking sweet. Actually, Shell, you know Shell? Oh, was it Ferguson? Yeah. She's the one when she was up here at my house last summer for Monster Mountains. I couldn't find a bungee cord. She's like, why the hell don't you have rock straps? I'm like, I've looked at them, but, and she's like, here. And I looked at them like, fuck. I should have bought those in Sturgis when I could have got a killer deal. And then I found about them. I ended up ordering a couple sets, and dude, they're awesome.
I have to add that to one of my saddlebags, because I'm always buying things and then trying to figure out how I'm actually going to put it on the bike.
Yeah. Instead of, bungee cords and you got to try to loop them around, take some more slack, with the rock straps, they're adjustable in length, and put it on, you can cinch it tighter once you snap them in, and they're the shit.
Right on.
I think the other thing, like you're talking wool socks. I mean, of course, it's over the price tag, but I got the Kimimoto soft blowers that I run on my Harley. When it comes to rain, that blocks so much moisture from the lower extremities, from your shins and your legs. Man, and I've been caught in a goddamn monsoon in Portland. The rest of me was soaked, but my knees down, I was bone dry. Everything else wasn't, though. Well, I actually got to the point my pants were soaking up so much moisture even underneath my leathers that it was slowly soaking down my jeans and then worked its way down. But I mean, I didn't get wet from the rain. That stuff, my boots and stuff were still dry, but it was just everything else was just slowly soaking it in just because of fucking monsoon of the Northwest.
Seems like it does that 367 days out of the year up there.
Oh, that day. I mean, I was going through at least 3 inches of standing water on Old 99 and going around Portland. I've never ridden through rain that hard. I mean, I've lived in the Northwest my whole life, but that was a whole nother experience of rain because it soaked through my Joe Rocket touring coat. I mean, I had the ballistic touring coat, and it went right through it. Within about a minute, I had water pooling in the elbows. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, the water in the elbow, that's the sign you're just like, I give up. I'm going to be wet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, yep, that's good enough of that. But it's one of those things, you get to ride and you get to travel, and it's like, you can leave, it's dry, but if you're going to be spending a few days on the road, you got the chances that you're going to find Mother Nature, and she ain't going to be kind to you.
And when it's this time of year, I know everybody's like, oh, bring your rain gear all the time. Rain gear takes up a lot of space. So, if I'm doing just like a couple days loop and I've got the room, I'll carry it. And during the winter, I definitely have got it because I can deal with rain and I can deal with cold. There's nothing as bad as cold rain.
Yeah. It's, I've had some buddies come over. Hey, let's go for a ride. And it's literally raining and they're all decked out in rain gear. I'm like, no. They're like, why not? I'm like, dude, it's one thing to be on a ride and you get stuck in it, but I'm not going to go ride for fun when it's already pouring rain and leave my house where I'm dry. No, I'm not going to do it. I've done that when I was younger, and no, I'm old, and I'm not going to go ride in the rain to have fun. Fuck off.
Okay, I see your point, but I also see, offer the counterpoint this. Every new bike that I get, doesn't matter if I've had that model even before, the first good rain I get, I take it out to a parking lot. And just practice loops, see where it slips, and get a feel for that bike in the rain.
Now that's understandable. I mean, you're going at an educational point of it to get familiar, as opposed to just going to go ride 100 miles, 150, whatever it is, in the rain just because we want to go ride motorcycles. No, fuck that. I'm not there. I'm done with that.
Well, figure I've had 2 cars in the last 10 years, and I think combined they might have gotten 500 miles. And I don't even think about taking any, like, I don't really need to go anywhere because it's raining, but if I've got to go somewhere, I'm going to ride.
Well, and then, if that's a person's, basic solo mode of transportation, hey, I get it. That, that's what it is. But yeah, for me, though, just to do it for fun, no. If I'm traveling, I'm on the road, wife and I did that going to Sturgis. We got caught in some, I think we were only like 20 miles outside of Sturgis when all of a sudden the skies opened up. And it's like, well, rode for like 10 miles. We're soaked, still had a little ways to go. It's like, well, fuck, I guess put on rain gear. A little late for it, but whatever. Try to stay a little bit warmer.
I mean, at that point, all you can do is just like grin and bear it. And especially if you've got a hotel down the road, then you're like, all right, well, I can make it there.
Yeah, and that was the point. It's like, cool, we got, the house is so far away, but she was getting pretty wet and cold, so it's like, fuck, we'll just pull over, grab the raincoats, get, at least try to keep the torso a little bit warmer, and, it is what it is.
Right.
Yes, that's her. I'm with you. Getting caught in the rain is one thing. Leaving in the rain for a 2-hour ride, fuck that. That's where I'm at. I've gotten old now. I'm not a young like I used to be. I'm getting gray, fuck. Dude, drinking espresso in that little cup, it's killing me, but I love it. It's fucking comical. You're drinking espresso, I'm drinking bourbon. Good cheers.
Yeah, cheers. So, like, we talk about most of my posts are actually from coffee shops. So, I'm kind of animated. Like, don't give me a paper cup to do my shots with. I don't. Number one, it tastes weird, but I don't like having the waste. And so, like my home coffee shop back in Macon, they've got like one real espresso cup that says hot stuff on it for me, because I'm always like, please don't give me a paper cup.
So you're traveling on the road. I mean, got the big chains, but do you have a particular coffee shop that you enjoy, that's got plenty of locations when it comes to riding?
Oh, well.
I'll admit, like you, I'm a coffee connoisseur. I'll admit I can be a coffee snob when it comes to that shit. If I got my coffee, I'm gonna be pissed.
I will say, there's over there on the West Coast, there's a chain that has several locations. And honestly, Starbucks, there's, people rag about Starbucks. Starbucks has thousands of locations across the United States, and you're doing things wrong if you get a bad drink at Starbucks. But with that in mind, over on the West Coast, there's a chain up and down called Bottoms Up. Are you familiar?
Never heard of that one.
So it's 4 bikes going by. Hold on. So my first time pulling up to a Bottoms Up, I'm like, hey, it's an espresso place. It's still open. It's like 8 o'clock at night. Cool. Drive up espresso. And I did not know that it was like a bikini espresso bar. But here's the thing. Like, you can be smoking hot wearing a bikini. I still want good service. So when I asked for a Cuban coffee and they knew exactly how to make it properly and none of them were even Latinas, then I knew that I was in the right place.
See, there's some chains, like, I know on the West Coast you got Dutch Brothers in places, but there's a very small chain. It's in northern Washington. I know they're like up in Bellingham, Ferndale area, little farther south, not far that. Unfortunately, there's no relation to me, but it's called Woods Coffee. And they've actually one of the best coffee places I ever. I bought one of their mugs just because, like, fuck, that's my name. I got to get one.
Right.
But their coffee they make really good coffee. I was impressed. Like, I wish they would come farther south in Washington, but they're only up in that northwest corner. And there's, I don't know how many coffee shops they got offhand, but it is damn good coffee.
For some reason, I think I have actually stopped at those before.
Well, probably mean like we were talking earlier. If you came across the border in Bellingham area, they're in Bellingham,
We got
Ferndale,
a semi
Linden.
going up the hill.
Yeah, yeah,
All
they're
right,
in
say again.
Bellingham, Ferndale, Linden. When my kids were younger doing travel baseball up there, we had a bunch of baseball tournaments and found them, through baseball. And fuck, they made good coffee. I was impressed. I always want to get back up there one of these days and get myself another mug because that one's long since gone.
Fair.
But it's some good stuff. So here's one. All your travels, what's one of your favorite places you've ridden?
Oh, that would definitely be Mexico. Man,
Okay.
I had such a blast down in Mexico last year. And yeah, I unfortunately figured out that everything I'd ever been told about traveling in Mexico was an absolute lie. The water was fine. The roads were. I mean, I I was seeking out roads that were less than desirable, and they were still like gold wing ready. So and the people were so darn nice everywhere I went. Even the federales were nice. So
How long did you spend in Mexico?
I spent I think 2 weeks down there, or a week and a half. So, and then I went from there up to Canada and then headed home. Matter of fact, that was right after Reef and Solo's ride in Texas.
Okay.
Uh,
I want to get a hold of Solo again and get him back on. I was actually going to try to get a hold of him the other day, and what was it, 4 months ago or whatever, when I upgraded my iPhone to a new one and lost half my contacts, and his number was one I lost. But I think I still got Reef, so I'm going to get a hold of Reef and get a hold of Solo. I remember when I had him on at the very beginning, I had to laugh when I sent him a message. Hey, we were chatting because he was on before I came to YouTube. And I know he's on the East Coast, basically based out of North Carolina, but never there. And when he called me, he still got a 206 area code, which is Seattle, from when he was stationed at Joint Base Lewis McChord. It just made me laugh. He calls me. It's a Northwest phone number calling me.
I think he had a shop out in Washington at one point, didn't he?
I don't know. Not that I know of. But I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, I seem to remember him saying something about.
Well, he had a lot of stuff done at Dead Center Cycles. They did a lot of work on his bikes over there. Dead Center's out of Lacey, because actually you got Northwest Harley-Davidson and Lacey, and Dead Center Cycles is not even a half mile from them, and I haven't been there, but I've talked to a lot of people that really recommend them, and they do some quality work at Dead Center Cycles.
I know he's always coming over to at the Boneyard. He's over here on the East Coast.
Because I believe Dead Center is one of the few places up here in the Northwest still has a dyno, and they can dyno tune your bike and everything. And a lot of people go to Dead Center to get some tuning and adjustments and having bikes built. I need to venture over there one of these days to check the place out.
Follow.
So, Springer Mike had a question. You ever get up around Gillette, Wyoming, or do any riding through Wyoming?
I noticed last year I was looking at my my spot wall strip line, and I'm like, how have I entirely missed Montana and Wyoming? Like, why? What? So I've kind of made it a point this summer, because our shows tend to slow down in summer. We just added an outdoor amphitheater, but like in June, I think I've got like 4 days booked, work days for June. So I've been plotting on Wyoming and Montana, like, hey, I need to go and ride these. The thing is, I'm constantly reminding us, I'm literally sitting here like the sun's going down, I'm getting chilly. I'm so used to Georgia weather that I fail to realize it's not, 90 in February everywhere else.
June's not a bad time. I did Wyoming in 22 through Wyoming in June, and actually it was fucking hot. And Central Wyoming, boring as shit. Nothing but antelope and fucking oil derricks. But Western Wyoming, once you hit the Grand Tetons, was absolutely fucking amazing. The scenery coming up the Tetons through Du Bois, and then you come down into Jack's Hole, you're kind of the south end of Yellowstone, was absolutely amazing. I've seen so many pictures online and, travel stuff, and you can see pictures of the Tetons. I mean, they are gorgeous, but when you see it through your own eyes, that was some of the most beautiful scenery ever. It was fucking amazing.
Out there in California, was that right? I think I was right. I think I was riding the ST, and I was right after I got the ST. I did like a day riding around and just kind of get used to it. And then I took the 10, did the 10 end, but while I was out there, I was, I hate getting hotels. Every few days it's one thing, but most of the time I want it during the summer, particularly. I like riding through the night, and then when I get tired, I'll stop at a rest area, and they've always got this little picnic area. I pull my bike right into the picnic area, and I sleep next to the bike. And I was coming up on some pass, and it was getting pretty chilly, and I was tired. And it was down in northern, well, I won't even say Northern California, probably about mid-California. And I don't remember the pass's name, but then, I'd go ahead, and somebody mentioned that there was like a glacier nearby or something like that, Glacier Park or something nearby. But waking up at that rest area to the sun coming up through the California mountains is just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. And you don't get that out of a hotel room.
I had experienced one similar. We were doing it was the first Monsters Over Mountains where we busted out an iron butt the first day, and we camped when we zigzagged all the Cascade passes from the Canadian border to Oregon. And then we camped in a little city park in Arlington, Oregon at the base of Mount Hood, and we got up at 5 o'clock, I think, that morning, and seeing the sun coming up on Mount Hood, over Mount Hood. Nice. It was fucking beautiful. Probably the best 3 hours of sleep I ever got in my life. I felt like I slept 6-7 hours, but it was like 3 maybe. But it was just
it works.
You wake up in the scenery. It was just it was so cool. And, you wake up with you got your brothers that are all riding with you, and that camaraderie. It was an awesome experience, and it's hard to explain if people don't do it. You do the vagabond. You just you ride till you're tired. Cool. Throw your bedroll and mattress, sleeping bag down, and take a power nap. Basically, is what it is.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. It was the coolest shit experience ever. And got me hooked on that kind of shit.
Yeah. I can definitely relate to that. Arizona is another place that's like that. Waking up like literally in the middle of nothing in Arizona, and it just like now the sun's there, and now I see that it's not nothing. It's just actually like seeing the shadows of the landscape as the sun comes up. It's amazing.
Yeah, there are some of those places you might shut down when it's dark, and you wake up, it's like, damn, pretty amazing place.
Right.
But some ways, it's fun to travel that way, and kind of. No, it's fair to say, the old school style. You just sleep on the ground. You get tired, you take a sleep, you wake up, and realize you found a freaking amazing place to fucking take a nap.
Right. I've had some pretty good ones like that. Now, matter of fact, it brings up a good point. There are 2 apps. One is called Dyrt, DYRT, and another one is called Onyx. And
Onyx is amazing. I've had Onyx Hunt for when it comes to knowing where you're at and properties and that kind of shit. Onyx is Probably one of the few paid app subscriptions that I have for that kind of stuff.
Well, I use the free version of Dirt, and it's still. I think the only difference is that you've got to like check that you're only looking for free sites. But rest areas there for rest, and if any officer or somebody says, "Hey, you can't sleep on a sleeping bag on the ground," you look over and there's 20 people sleeping in cars. You know, so,
Yeah.
but like the past week, I was over in Missouri, and using using the Dirt app to find like these wildlife conservation spots that you can camp, and I had some really beautiful places, entirely free to camp. Pack in, pack out, and 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 that's it. You know, but I would definitely like to suggest the use of that app to folks to help you find good free camping that you're not going to be bothered at all. You're welcome.
The other one I found is church parking lots.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, done that.
When I am like really shaking it off. Now Saturday night I wouldn't do it, but
Got a point.
any other night of the week, like for one, like it's like all the Baptist church, the Baptist churches usually have that one spot that's like a pull through carport, so that ladies don't get their hair wet when they get let out of the car,
Yeah.
And I have, knock on wood, I have never gotten a single bit of harassment. Like if it's raining and I'm dead tired, I'll park underneath one of those, and I've never once got harassed for doing it. I did get woke up with a cup of coffee and a donut one time and asked if I wanted to come to service. But
hey, hospitality.
Right. Like, I was not complaining.
I've done a church on a Saturday. Granted, we pulled in at 2 a.m. and we were up before 5, but we didn't sleep out front. We slept in the back parking lot right behind the church, but I think we were up and gone before service was going to start.
Right.
Have you ever tried the Bunka-Biker?
I keep forgetting to do that. I've been friends with Z for six plus years. Like right after she started the Bunka-Biker thing, and it's usually at the point that I'm tired. I rarely have like, okay, I'm going to go to this spot so that I can go ahead and call ahead and get one of those actually set up. It probably would be easier once I do a couple of them, but that's kind of the drawback for me with the Bunka-Biker thing is I don't know where I'm going to actually stop. I'm going to go until I'm tired. So, and I kind of feel like I would feel like a jerk being the very last minute, like, hey, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Mind if I crash in your yard? Like,
yeah, so, that's understandable there. I get that 100%.
All right, give me 1 second. I got to run these inside real quick.
Okay. It's kind of fun doing one, guys, traveling down the road. Pulls off basically to Starbucks somewhere to hop on, do a podcast, and when he's in the middle of travels. But no, thanks everybody for tuning in and enjoying this stuff, man. It's a lot of fun. I greatly appreciate all you guys, always coming in, tuning in, chiming up the side chat, posting up questions and everything you got. It makes it really cool. It's a lot of fun doing this. And man, you guys come up with some great questions too. And you're back.
I'm back, yes. So
Mike, he is in Pennsylvania right now. Yeah, Springer Mike is asking where you're at.
Yeah, it's I had it written up. Somewhere in Pennsylvania, probably about 50 miles from Pittsburgh on 74. Oh, nice. Sunset, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Not sure where it's at. Never been there. I've never hit the East Coast yet.
Well, I don't think I've ever been here before either. But there's a nice sunset.
Hey, there you go. You got coffee. You got a nice sunset. Get some caffeine going.
That's
So
right.
where's final destination for tonight? Any idea where you're working at, getting to?
I do know I want to make a stop in tomorrow. Well, tomorrow I do want to end up in Winchester, Virginia, but I'm probably going to go up to Bradford, where the Zippo factory is tonight.
What's on the list for tomorrow? Where are you heading after that?
To go pick up some socks and then head down to Virginia and visit some friends in Virginia.
Nice. So is it Vermont? It's actually, what do they say? The maple syrup capital of the United States?
They do say that. And I've got some really good maple syrup from there, as a matter of fact. There's I love all these little, like, supporting little independent places across the United States, and which is why mostly I go to independent coffee shops. But it's very difficult for me to pass up a little mom and pop stand of anything. And there's literally a maple syrup place. Thanks for reminding me. Right out of Vermont, called Mom and Pop Syrup. So they've got a really good, like, pepper infused maple syrup. They display down at Christmas in the South, which is at the venue, one of the venues that I work at. So every year I get a couple of jugs of syrup from them. So maybe I should stop there when I'm up in Vermont.
There you go. One of them little fun facts that just stuck in my brain for God only knows how long. But then you can't go wrong with some, good pancakes, French toast, or waffle with some damn good syrup.
That's right. That's right.
Because I do love some good French toast.
I'm also craving French toast. It's important.
Years ago when I was a breakfast cook, many moons ago, found a killer recipe for doing French toast. And later, kids always loved the French toast, but I found I'd get that Cinnabon raisin bread and make French toast with the Cinnabon bread. Oh, that is fucking amazing.
What? All right.
Yeah, so that's some good stuff right there.
I might head over to Washington State for some French toast.
There you go, man.
You know, like, you get a knock on the door.
Hey, there's always room, buddy.
Fair.
Throw some French toast on the flat grill and get it going.
All right. Dark.
Yeah. So what's on? You got any?
Say again.
What's that? Oh, go ahead.
I just looked up and realized it was getting dark, but it won't be dark there for 4 hours.
My wife. Yeah, I can do some French toast, and I do killer fucking omelets, man. I do the homemade, flip them in the pan. None of this flip them over on the grill shit. Nah, I learned the old school way.
Right on.
So you got any big trips that you're gonna, kind of on the plans or agenda for this summer?
See if this R6 can get in gear. All right, there he is. I definitely, like I said, I do want to hit Wyoming and Montana. I'd like to get a friend of mine, Claire, tried to do a ride around Montana, set a course ride around Montana, and I'd kind of like, things happened, it didn't work out for her. I'd kind of like for her to go out and give it a second attempt. If not, I'd like to go give it an attempt. That's going to be, I'd say, like almost 3,000 miles to do the ride around Montana.
Yeah, that would be a bit. Montana's a big fucking state.
Right.
But man, it's got some gorgeous scenery. I mean, I've ridden through part of southern Montana. Amy and I did parts through central Montana, and fuck, it is some beautiful country.
Well, another thing is I really want to. I don't want to jinx myself, but I'd really like to do the ultimate coast to coast, and if I can get the time to do it, and the money at the same time, then I'd like to do that. Oh,
well, if you're in Montana, you go for it. Explain the ultimate, because that's an epic ride.
The ultimate, that is from Dead Horse, Alaska to Key West. It's the furthest distance from the U.S. coast possible, or drivable, excuse me. And either direction. So that's definitely one of those bucket list rides.
Well, if you hit Montana and you keep going to the northwest, man, let me know.
All right. I know I got to make it back out somewhere to the East Coast to get my figure out what's going on with my gold wing.
Well, that, I mean, if you're coming to Montana, you always had Cape Flattery. You hit the most northwest point of the continental 48.
Is it further north than Angeles Island in Minnesota?
Yes. Cape Flattery is the farthest northwest point of the lower 48 you can get. It's the far tip of the Olympic Peninsula up here in Washington.
Huh. Or, Angeles Inlet. I'm thinking of. They've got one of those buoys up there that says it's the furthest north point in the continental or contingent.
It might be the farthest north, but not the farthest northwest. Cape Flattery is the farthest northwest you can go in a vehicle.
Yeah. Sorry, the west part. That's the important part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little further west than Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, those are probably my big rides, and then I'm just gonna keep riding. I don't pre-plan a lot of my rides. Like this last week, I rode. I think I'm right at like 3,000 miles in the past week, and it's not really wasn't anything planned other than to go get some good barbecue and then come out here to BAM Celebration of Life in West Virginia. There is one last thing that I would like to make a mention there real quick. Not many people, I don't know many people that have a road named after them. And a shout out to Hoagie Carmichael. He actually lives on Hoagie's Heroes Road. And he's the one who put on the Celebration of Life for BAM. And he's, they call him the Harley riding hobo. He raises a lot of funds for, and St. Jude is his charity that he.
St. Jude's.
So.
I've never met him, but I've heard a lot about him through a lot of people, from doing this and a lot of people that have talked about Hoagie.
He's dead. Not only that, but he's a darn good cook too. I ate well, very well.
Well, if you hit Wyoming, Springer Mike, who lives in Gillette, Wyoming, he's on the eastern side, said he's got a clean bed and a shower and grub for you. So if you make it to Wyoming, get a hold of me. I can get you in touch with Springer Mike. Springer Mike is an awesome guy, man. He's one of those, a damn good friend that I call, one of my fucking brothers. I mean, Springer is an awesome dude and one of my closest friends. And it was an honor to get to know him through doing the, social media and then getting to meet him in person. And, we've hung out, a couple trips I've now made over to Wyoming and Sturgis area, South Dakota, and got to hang out with him multiple times, and he is an absolute amazing dude. Kind of guy that give you the shirt off his back when you needed it.
I dig it. I dig it. Appreciate it.
A lot of good stuff about Mike. He's fucking amazing.
I definitely appreciate it. I'll probably cross paths with him when I'm out that direction.
I will get you in touch with him. That's not a problem at all.
All right.
Yeah, and he can, you want to see some great country in Wyoming. It's like my wife chimed in. He knows the roads over there. I mean, he took us on a great tour when we did the Devil's Tower run. And actually, when we were over there last year for Sturgeon, didn't know the day we wanted to do Devil's Tower was actually the Devil's Tower run day. A lot of people, but man, he took us on some great roads and showed us some absolutely amazing country over that way.
Cool.
And if you want to talk about some amazing food, so if you get over in Gillette, you got to remember Broadus, Montana. It's okay. Now I got to look it up to remember the name. There is a freaking restaurant, the Stockman's Club. The most absolute fucking amazing barbecued burgers you'd ever eat. I mean, they're not stuff you buy at a store. They make their own patties, their own burgers, and the food is absolutely to die for at the Stockman's Club. Mike, not Cattleman Club, Stockman's Club, because I just Googled that shit because we stopped there and some people came out like we'd asked, we pulled in, you've seen some people walking out. Obviously, they weren't from around there, like, well, it's okay. I guess if you like barbecue food, it's okay. And fucking love barbecue. We went in there, we ordered burgers and food, and holy shit, it was absolutely fucking amazing. That's one place I would love to get back to just to go have a burger.
Well, I tell you, my two places that I love going for barbecue. I just found one this week, but last year for National Barbecue Day, my absolute winner was Manning's Barbecue in New Albany, Mississippi, and I probably stopped there. Mind you, it's a 400-mile ride there, so I probably stopped there 6 times this last year. So, but another shout out to Hart Barbecue, just outside of Kansas City. Man, that man can put on some sandwiches. That was. I have a new appreciation for Kansas City style barbecue.
Supposedly in Bellevue, Washington, there's an absolute amazing barbecue place. I don't remember the name, but I remember last year when we were leaving, where the hell were Bonners Ferry, Idaho. Kind of had to change my route for Monsters Over Mountains because of fire. And it's like 6 a.m. I just, the group of us, me and Shell, Frank Orlando, Mike Nielsen, Bradley Thomas, Buddy Maurice, Steve Weber. We were almost at Davenport, and my phone rings, and I look down at my phone because, with my helmet comms, Reef was calling. I'm like, why the fuck is Reef calling? This is kind of weird, out of the blue. He's in Spokane, like 30 miles behind me. He's like, hey, I'm 30 miles behind you. He goes, keep going west. Let's meet in Bellevue. I'm like, looking at the time clock, because we, you got the goal to do the bun burner under 36. I'm like, dude, Reef, I don't think I can swing there. I'm like, but dude, if you want some amazing food, come to my house because we're gonna barbecue. He's like, and I think he was on, he was doing the Four Corners. He's like, I don't got time, and it was just crazy. 6 a.m-ish. Look down and Reef's calling me. It's like, dude, this guy's a legend. Holy shit, Reef's, and he was following my Spot Walla, and it's like, holy shit. And Shell got next. Like, dude, Reef just called. He's like, what? She's like, see, he's 30 miles behind us. It's like, holy shit. A guy lives in Texas and that is another riding fool. Was literally right behind us. It's like, holy crap.
Matter of fact, everybody knows the Spot Walla, not Spot Walla, the Rever app. Everybody has a problem with it dropping, including me. But there's the feature challenge. It's called the Road Warrior Challenge.
Yeah.
And I'm just checking it right now. Yeah, as of right now, I'm 79 miles ahead of them. But I have a feeling everything's going to change. The, the top four people right now are myself, Reef, Riot, and Lionel. Lionel Ramos is he's an
Lionel is a
absolute
right. I've got to meet Lionel when I went to the I think it was the Hoka in 22 in South Dakota. I think that's where I met Lionel, and that dude is fucking cool as shit. It's been an honor to meet so many of these people that are a legend within the community when it comes to really long distance riding, and it's been amazing to meet some of the people, and I'm honored that I've got to meet some of these guys and chit chat with them, and just looking at their setups, looking at what these guys do and how they set their bikes up has just been absolutely amazing. It's so much fun.
I second that. I think the first time I met Lionel was 3 years ago for the IBA Jackson party, and I'm like, just look. He had at the time his setup was like this, like double length, like oversized tour pack, and this huge 10.5 gallon gas tank on his roadglide. And it was to me it was just the coolest thing. I'm like, wow, man, that's really a setup.
I think it was him and you ever met Gopher?
Gopher, I don't think that name rings a bell.
Gopher is another long distance riding fool. I mean, and he's also got a massive tour pack, but it makes sense because his tour pack's got to be 2 feet wide by 3.5 feet long. It's like it says, he can pack everything in there he needs, but keeps his weight down low instead of packing up high like on a lot of bikes do. So it still keeps the center of gravity lower, and he's got everything set up well. Open it up, cot comes out first for a sleeping cot, and it is a killer setup. It's a great idea, when you're really getting into that long distance riding and getting a setup that really works, knowing how your bike handles, and setting it up for riding and handling. And no, I remember looking at Lionel's too. It's like, holy Jesus, that tour pack is fucking enormous. Yeah. But no, it's smart.
Yep. I think he actually because he had to go back to a stock size tank for Hoka.
Yeah.
And last I knew, I don't know whether he sold it or was lending K Solo the super tank, the tanker tank.
Yeah, because Hoka is stock gas tanks only, no auxiliary tanks allowed.
Right. So, yeah.
But yeah, I know Riot's pushing for 100,000 miles this year. That's his goal right now. He's on the Forrest Gump 15,000 mile, 15-day run.
Yeah. Yeah, so when I hit my diamond last year, I had 2 real important phone calls actually. And because so I hit my diamond, and actually the first one wasn't a phone call. It was to Ken Andrews.
Go home, Ken. I love that dude. Ken is a really good friend.
He's been a big motivator for me throughout my IBA time. Because when I hit my diamond, he's like, a lot of folks have done that, but you know what? Less people have done 100,000 in a year. He's like, you're close. Why don't you do it? And it was like, yeah. just that little nudge that I needed. Like, yeah, because I was like, okay, well, now I hit 100. What do I do now? And he gave me that little push. And I think I want to say I was probably at maybe like 80,000. No, I don't even think. I think no. I think because I know in December alone I did like 16,000.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, it was. I was doing. I was riding around in Florida, and this alternator died on this thing, so I went back, picked up the, got a Home Depot truck, dropped this thing off at the garage, picked up my RT, brought the Home Depot truck back, and that was like the day before Christmas. So then I like ride all the way over to Texas where I know I can like go faster. And I knocked out like a couple of 2,000-mile days, just grinding to hit that 100,000 mark. And I also ended up hitting my 100,000 mile for the year last year. And I want to say it was a 17th person. I think that's what Ken told me. I was the 17th person that the IBA certified for 100,000.
Tell you what, you want to get some good Ken stories? You got to check out the Wild Ass podcast with the episode with Ken. I'll send you a link to it.
All right.
Holy crap. I was dying laughing. I mean, I was driving a truck that day and damn near had to pull over because, I mean, I'm driving semi because I was laughing so fucking hard I was crying at the stories Ken was sharing at this place he visited in South Dakota. Oh, Ken, dear Lord.
He's a character. That's for sure.
I have a phone call conversation with Ken at least once a month, and dude, that dude, he fucking cracks me up, man. I love that guy. He is so freaking comical, but he's a great individual. I got nothing but respect for Ken. He's great motivator. He's a great guy that you're trying to learn something, especially when it comes to long distance community and stuff. You want to bounce ideas off of. He's a great guy to talk to, a motivator. Inspiration to everything. I mean, Ken's a solid guy. I fucking got nothing but respect for Ken. He's been an amazing friend.
He's so good about just like, he'll hit me up with a message. Like, hey, I think you should check. I think you should think about this. I just put that little bug in my ear. Like, he's good about that.
I'll send it to you, Tracy. Whoa. Lost him. Now he's back. But yeah, no, Ken is a great motivational guy. He's a one of a kind. That is for sure. So, but man, I can't thank you enough, Brandon, for taking time out and wanting to come hang out and do a Milepost. I've been, and I shot you a message quite a while back. It's like, well, try to work something out. And then, later this week, dude, I'm free Sunday. Would it work? I'm like, fuck yeah, it'll work. It'll be awesome.
Right. I'm glad to have you be having that. Glad to be on your show.
Well, it's been fun. You're one of the guys I've followed for quite a while. And, following your journey, it's like, damn, the dude rides a lot. And, it's inspirational. It's fun to, hear some of the stories and, kind of how things go. And, for me, it's like, it's a repeating record. But the awesome part of this is the friendships that I build with every person that I've ever had on here. And to me, that's the biggest reward of doing this is the friendships that I've been able to make with every person I've had on. And it's awesome.
I hear that.
But yeah, man, you ever make it out the Northwest, for sure get a hold of me. I'd, love to actually sit around the campfire. I'll make you some coffee.
All right. I'm down for it.
I got that French press, man. I can put it on the oven. We can, make some good espressos.
Hey, look up a mocha pod, MOKA.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, they're campfire ready.
Dude, like I said, man, I'm a coffee connoisseur. I won't admit I can be a fucking coffee snob when it comes to fuck up coffee.
Well, Lord knows I drink enough of it. Like, I don't have any other places. So
there you go. So, hey, hang out for a minute, man. Hey, thanks, everybody. Thank you guys all for tuning in again to Milepost 133. It's cool to see these Mileposts knocking down. They keep going and going, and all the support, everybody that comes in and joins in and side chat. This is just a lot of fun, and I enjoy it. So, thank you all for tuning in. This has been an awesome time. Brandon, thank you for literally hopping off the road at a coffee shop to get online and hang out and share some shit. It's been a good time, and super glad we've been able to make this one work.
All right. Sounds good.
So,
thank you, brother.
Now, you guys, thank you for tuning in. It's been a good time. Remember, hey, stay safe, ride safe, enjoy the open road, and we'll catch you in the crossroads.